It's showtime, boys and girls. Showtime. Okay, that was my try with my new with my new opening, and I think what happened. I got so excited I clicked it twice, and I apologize for that. But I'm having some issues today with the camera, with with the internet, and with all kinds of things. And so I apologize for that. If you have any problems, I know that Facebook is having problems. They put a notice up saying that inexplicably sometimes live streams are going to get cut short, and they're working on it, and they've been working on it for about the past 2 hours. So I'll be just as surprised as you as to who gets to see this, on live. For a live on Facebook. But if you have any problems, go to YouTube. Maybe they won't have any problems either, but you never know. Anyway, early in the chat, I have Frater CR. Hello there. How are you doing? So I'm expecting that everything's coming across well. The stream, the video is okay. The sound is good, and so I will trust that that's what's happening, and then everything's fine. So let's see here. As the teaser, as I was saying, that I'm going to be dealing with. Officially, what did I say? I said about staging a comic book environment, and and there's a lot of planning that goes into it. Oh, hey there, Pedro Ang. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you. I'm hoping that that you'll find this all worthwhile, and I'm going to show you, as I said, about the environment. It's not just about the design of your characters and what kind of spaceships they have, or what kind of monsters they deal with. I think a really simple thing is, you have to plan in a scene where the characters are going, and so that you know how to stage your camera ahead of time. It's almost like you have to do a floor plan. And I'm not going to go through all of that, but I want to show you how, by having a floor plan, even in your own head, you know where the characters are going and where they're going to move to next, especially if it's in a closed environment, between rooms and such. That's always been a problem, where if all you're doing is cutting, you're not really telling the reader, the viewer, what it is, where they are, give them a sense of place. So what I decided to do is I have a short 12 it's a 7-page story that is going to be in the next Bloodwing Angel Chronicles. That's going to be I'm hoping to get that out in October, or at least have people ready to have a crowdfunding then. But anyway, I'm going to show you the first 5 pages, at least, to show you where it is. I don't want to give away the capper to this whole to the story, but you'll see what I mean by setting the tone, setting the environment, and you, as I go from page to page, panel to panel, type in some questions if you have, and we'll go from there. So let's start here, and I'm going to go switch over to, let's see. Oh, I've got to add him, and yeah, let's do that. Okay, so this story is taking place in at the 1717 Club, which is the local mobster hangout, where eventually the characters that Michael the Bloodwing Angel has to deal with, besides the family, the Combs family, and so I figured, let me do a 7-page story in the same manner that Will Eisner would do The Spirit, a very complete story where it's not there's a beginning, middle, and end, but this will give you a tone, an idea of who are the characters, why are some characters in that neighborhood not wanting to deal with these guys. So anyway, so if you can see here, I mean, basically, I'm giving you an idea that this is not your ordinary, bar. And again, I'm trying to do an homage, or at least to give it an idea of how The Spirit was done, and I wanted to make this special. I wanted to have this as a place, the 7 pages that maybe might be collected later on with other 7-page or 8-page stories of these characters. But as I said, it's right away. That's the title. It's 1717 Club, and they get that name from the fact that that's the number that is the address number. It's 1717 86th Street. Now there was an actual 1717 Club in my neighborhood across the street from my parents' apartment building, and that this here is a situation where I'm just telling you, bringing my memories of what that club was like. I mean, it was a mobster hangout. I mean, that's where the guys would bring their girlfriends, kumaris, and just go and hang out on a Friday night and a Saturday night. They'd show up all dressed to the nines. They would have a cocktail. It was a cocktail bar. It had live entertainment, everything. So we'll start with that. Now you've got the 1717 Club, and I call this story the Midnight Special. And basically, it's sex, drugs, rock and roll. Now, setting this up, you can see it's kind of a low 1-story, 2-story, brick building. As we go along here, this here, I'm only doing. I've done this for pure action and for posing, So you have an idea of what the characters, what I'm not worried about what the design is. All I want is the action, the pacing and the dialogue in this. And first, before I start, hey, Sean Stackhouse, thank you very much for showing up. And thank you that I, hopefully it will be a real shocking story. Anyway, so what I've done here is basically you've got one of the characters is packing, tapping me more like banging away at the lid of this drum, and another guy has got ready to hoist it away and take it back somewhere. And you say, once again, there's a lot of there's dialogue with this. What I've done is to show where this is coming from. I'm making sure that the dialogue balloon is going straight into or coming out of the entrance, but then I am connecting it straight to this character, not to that character, but this secondary character. So there is no, it's once again, it's kind of a voiceover straight on to him. This character is kind of giving it a nice little kiss, a kiss off here, saying, "Yeah, there's it'll give it a tang." Now, already we're wondering what's in that canister, and what are they doing that's going to age it? I mean, if they're going to keep it in for 2 weeks, what is that all about? But anyway, as this character rolls the canister back, he's asking the bartender for to give him a drink, pour me a shot of B on the rocks. Okay. So already you have an idea that there's stuff going on here. It's part of their regular activities. But what is it? There's already a mystery as to what is in that canister. So now this here, I drew this as full size in terms of what the page will look like when it's finally printed. That gives me an idea of, and I can really work on it. I blow it up later on. I'll show you a blow up at some other point. Let's see. Can I roll this over here? Let's see. What have we got here? No, later on, in a few minutes. So let's go to page 2. There's a lot going on here also. This first panel is basically the bartender, pouring a shot. But you'll note he's got horns. Now, we don't know whether or not these are really horns or he's had implants. I mean, it could be anything, Once again, the world is not your normal world. So he's pouring something, he's pouring whatever the liquid is into a shot glass, or it's more like a bourbon, or it's a drink on the rocks. And then he notices, it's kind of, there's something different going on here. And he turns over to the boss and he says, "We're running low on barrel B." So we already know we got a bar. Here's the boss. There's your bartender. So what's the boss going to do? And he turns around to a waitress or one of the gals saying, "Okay, Cherry, sniff one out." And you got it, Snake Eyes. So Snake Eyes is the boss's name. I'm trying to set this up so that everything that is done gives you the feeling of emotion, or rather just the ambiance, and also not stopping a story just to set things up before the story can go forward. Um, Now you'll note in this case, he's got he has snake eyes. He's got his cigar or cigarette smoke going around here. He's also coming out here, and I'm using this, the smoke, to frame the next frame, the next panel, because you've got Pixie, you've got Cherry and Pixie. They're having a conversation. I just wanted it to be a flowing, just some more dynamics to it. You get a smoky haze, perhaps, to the neighborhood, to this, to the feeling of this, this bar. And so she says, "Oh, Pixie, honey, your cute little nose can distinguish only one vintage." Okay, so now we got a reason as to why Cherry's going and not Pixie. And then we do a little, kisses on the nose. And then there's another character who's shuffling, his cards. He's a card shop. We're going and he's shuffling and just just basically, how am I gonna do it? It's your standard fanning, and so Cherry's now going to go out and put out the sign for the midnight special. So, and we have now 09. Well, hello. Yeah, I'm live streaming again. I'm trying to do this as a regular thing. And I would like to be able to do it 2 or 3 times a week. I don't know if I can or not, because it's. Let me just switch this over. I don't know if I can, really, do 3 streams a week. I would like to, but it's a lot of effort to just figure out what I'm going to do next, and then I'm going to be I don't know. I'm trying to get the next book ready to go. I've been stuck on a certain, a batch of pages, because I'm getting the crowdfunding ready to fulfill soon from the for Kickstarter. But this Saturday, I'm launching the Indiegogo campaign. For those who missed out on the Kickstarter, I'm doing, Bloodwing Angel, the book, the first book, with all the perks, in Indiegogo. And I know that there's 2 different groups and people who, some like to do Kickstarter, some like to work with Indiegogo and get their comics. So I'm doing that so that I can cover all bases. So anyway, but I would like to do, more than 1 a week. Maybe I can do 2. We'll see. So here we go. Let's get to this here. And so now we have a situation where it's pretty obvious that as Cherry, puts out the sign, she's also putting out her sign as to what she's all about. Now, remember, the title is, Evil's Den. I mean, that's what we're talking about. This is a real, area of that characters that are just, these are not Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. So, it's in many ways, it winds up being sort of one of the doorways to hell. I mean, quite literally in the story, in the series. But that's down the road a bit. But right now, she's out here, and we've got people, guys walking by the bar and the club, and so she starts sniffing. She's smelling them out. She can figure out what's going on here. She's calling, saying that's an A, that's a B plus. She's rating these. This one here is suddenly, this character is, she's sniffing and says, bingo, this is the one that she wants. So anyway, she swings around, the one of the poles here, holding the overhang, but she's kind of doing a little pole dance here. Hey, handsome. Who, me? And so it's kind of obvious she's going to be playing on him. Any questions so far? Okay, let me finish this page here. This is page 3. What I've done here is setting up her. She's hooking the line. She's hooking her, her mark. She's really playing him. She's laid down the bait. She's playing with him a bit, and then she's hooking him and then reeling him in, basically. But here I'm using little notes and musical notes, and giving a nice little swirling here. What's sort of a sing-songy dialogue, saying, "Yes, you don't be modest. You give off the most manly scent. Like to play? Like to party? Well, there's one going on inside, and my date stood me up. Drinks are free." And the mark says, "If it's free, it's for me, babe." So this is the kind of thing where you're setting up. Now, notice what I've done here is here's the entrance. Okay, she's here, goes on the swing as he comes by here. She's swinging. He looks around, and then suddenly she's on that side, on his side here, because she's come around to him, and she's putting her hand on his chest, kind of then go behind him, pulling him, and then they're going through the door. So we've done in essence, an S curve here. The S is going here, and we swing out to there. And now this here, this is the way I work with just being able to kind of really just, it's a walkthrough, but I'm just trying to be as expressive and as capturing the emotion as much as possible. I'm not worrying about what the design is. I want eye contact. I want to know whether or not the shapes are interesting. I'm also editing the dialogue at the same time. So I'm not worried about anything other than telling my story. Not worried about the drawing. It's all about the staging. So we got 2 more pages on this here. Let's see. Any particulars? The paneling guides yes, the paneling, yeah. And I try to make it as interesting as possible. I want to make it as interesting, but as not confusing. Now, as you can see here, I'll show you this one here. Here it is. They're going through here. They're going into the club, and then I kick off. Then we cut inside, and there's the first scene that we see inside the club. They're out here in the just at the entrance to it, and you've got one of the guys, was kind of playing maitre d, table for two. Meanwhile, I'll start this off because it's part of a time. There's something there. There's the time element of counting down to midnight. So you've got Sherry here, and you've got her Mark. She's got her arms around him, holding on, and then you've got table for two. Meanwhile, here you've got the stage as the bar, and here is the stage where it's a very small stage. There's only enough for a singer, somebody somebody playing the guitar, and there's maybe a drummer. So it's really a tight group. But just to, as I would like to make people, reinforce, this is the 1717 Club. So there is a banner at the on the side of the stage here. And then in the foreground here are three characters, maybe Snake Eyes, maybe another guy, and then Pixie. So now we cut to the sitting. There's a three panel here where they're at a table. The Mark is saying, and Sherry is already drinking. She's drinking away. And the Mark says, "I've never been in here. Thought it was a private club." And she kind of sidles up to him, puts her shoulder against his chest, and says, "Well, it's sort of a private gambling club. You have to be invited." She's really, trying to get him to really, feel like he's Mr. Hot Stuff, here, and he's starting to fall for it. And you see that, she's put a drink down here, then she's leans up against him, and then she even kind of rests up against him. In this case, he starts making believe he's a big shot. He says, gambling club, hey, I'm partial to poker. And then she's been doing this sing-songy dialogue throughout. And so now she's just kind of, put her drink down while he's drinking away there. And she says, well, so am I. There's always a game going in the back room. And she just grabs his arm and just starts leading him on. He says, yeah, but I don't have much cash on me right now. Honey, you don't need money to play this game. Again, it's the sing-songy, the siren call. He's hooked. And we're going to go to the next page here. Now, we started off at 9 p.m. That's one thing. That was the starting point. We now go to 10 p.m. Now, I know that I'm not being exact, but maybe there was an hour while they were listening, while they were listening to music and drinking, what have you. This K, we're going to play strip poker, and the rules are, if as Cherry says, if one of us is totally stripped by midnight, there's a big treat. And oh yeah, well she's got him. She's already doffed one of her her top with her bustier there, and so by 10:50, the next panel. Okay, big boy, show me your pecs. They're going back and forth. Now she's taken off her total top. Her brassiere is off. He takes off his, and meanwhile there's a crowd starting to gather. So it's at 10:50. He says, "With pleasure, hold this for me." At 10:50 p.m., he's got his pants off, and he says, "Almost there." There's 10:50, 11:50, 10:50. So the countdown, the countdown, 10 p.m., 10:50, 11:50 p.m. Almost there. We've gathered. Everybody is gathered around. He's taken his pants off. She's almost all taken. She's stripped totally. And then there's something else that's going to happen. This is page 5. So you know that I'm going to I'm setting up for something to happen. I'm not going to show it because that would just give away the whole ending to this. But you have a good idea of what I'm trying to get at. It's a bit, just give you a sense of place and character development and there's a story. It's a beginning, a middle, and then the capper is the end. So that's what I have right now. I go here. That's what I have right now. I'd like to keep them at these sessions to maybe about 30 minutes, because after a certain point, unless there is interaction, I mean, in terms of people asking questions. If there was somebody else here, in terms of a live stream, where I have a guest, then we could go back and forth. But right now, I don't have anyone who who's kind of has free time to talk about this. Anyway, do you have anybody here having any questions? Oh, Collins Swinburne. Good day. Happy 5:30 a.m. Where are you? That's 5:30 a.m. Tell me, Colin, where are you from? It's got says good day. Oh wait, Australian. You've got to be It's got to be Australia. Yep, there you go. There you go. Well, this is way too early for you. The Melbourne. Okay, Melbourne. Boy. Well, I'm glad that you came. Right now, I'm unless I have the questions, I'm not going to be able to go much further than what I'd planned to do. Well, what I can do is I could show you what the next step is to my the process. Once I've done those pages and I'm happy with them, I'll go to here's my field guide here. Let me go switch this over. There you go. You can see this here. That's a field guide for me. This gives me an idea of what the sizing of the various panels would be like, and then I blow up a panel. As you can see there, I'll blow it up, and let's see if I can get this here. Yeah. You start. Colin says, I start working 30 minutes. Holy smoke! Well, you can see it. See this video on YouTube that's recorded. So you'll be able to you catch up on what you missed in the live feed. Now you see how this is. I've blown this up, and now it's a matter of me working on all of this. Now let me Now let's just do this here for a minute or two. Even with a, let's see how this camera hits. Okay. So normally what I wind up doing is I will start, because of the of how many characters there are, levels, I might decide to do one set, this front, the foreground characters on one level, do these characters in the back as a second level, and then have the background, on a separate level, and have the people up on stage on a fourth level. That way, if sometimes the drawing gets kind of, rough, and if I make a mistake, this is the way I, as an animator, I would do things. I could, sometimes I would move things around, but I would just play with this, and I just didn't want to have, too much material on the same level, just in case I decide I don't like what I've seen, But in this case, I've already done a cleanup of, I'm going to shut this down here. I've already cleaned up one of the, a couple of pages of this. But you can see here how, and this is not the drawing itself. What I've done is I've printed off the line art so that I can use them these as references for the rest of the story as I'm going along. So I will, I'll see. Okay, I've worked Pixie up a bit here, so I'll work with her. And again, I'll play around with this to give it, shape, so that it's not all the same. Once again, I know that I've got, let's see here, here. There are some of the characters in the bar. And, I've already worked them out. So I know that's Snake Eyes. Don't know who these other characters are. Oh, wait a minute. I do have a name. I do have names for them, but I don't have that list right now. I know some of them. One of them is Egghead. I'll find out. Anyway, this here is Snake Eyes. He's the boss. So he would be, I'm going to be working him up here. I'll try and give them something to do, even if it's just a even if it's just pointing at the drink. It's just kind of like just giving an idea that there is this activity. They're not just sitting there, like lumps on the log waiting for, something to happen. Again, it's like, extras in a movie, on the set of any show have already decided what kind of a conversation they would have, what's their attitude, just so that they can play it. And this is the same thing. For example, with me, I want to maybe I want his cigarette to go upwards like so, just so that it works with the down of his eyebrows. I'm going to be planning, he might lean in this way and then raise his shoulder up. Maybe I'm going to bring the glass up here so that there's something, there's more of a dynamic work to it, feel to it. But that's I start playing with, and so this is what I wanted to at least give you an idea, and to make this session worthwhile. Give you some information, and it's all yours. Just do with it as you wish, for your own work. Or maybe understand what others, are doing when you read a book, and you can, somebody else's comic, and say, okay, I understand what they have to do, and maybe something that you would do yourself, something that you're thinking of developing. So I'm gonna just ask you to. I'm glad that you all showed up. I'd like to. Thank you for doing that. Check out my, basically, the rest of I've got other YouTube channels, but check out my Indiegogo pre-launch page. I've got a lot of information on that. Let me see here. Can I even bring that up? I don't know. Can I? No, I won't get into that right now. But go to I have links on the my Facebook page, and on the YouTube video. Just check that out. I've got a bunch of things that will give you a good idea of what the series is all about, and it'll even show you some of the what the books look like, the printed book, because I got those in. And so anyway, if there's no questions from the Peanut Gallery, I will, or any other audience members, I'll bid you adieu, and I'll say sayonara, and hopefully I'll have something Wednesday. I won't know until my day whether or not I do have I've got the time, or I can play something. I've got something to tell you. So anyway, thanks, and take care. And I'm going to go out with my the same way I came in. Bye.